Hi everybody, welcome to another quick shot episode. My name is Flo, and joining me today is a man I'd like to call the master of the quiet intensity. This, ladies and gentlemen, is composer, singer, and songwriter Ed Hobson. Ed, thank you for being
Hey,
here.
hello. Thanks for having me.
Ed, first of all, you have unreal ukulele skills. So first question, why the ukulele and when do you decide on using it?
So when I think I was 12 or 13 when I got my first ukulele. Really, so I sang in school and I wanted to write songs and sing, and I was also outside a lot. I like to hike and go in the woods and stuff, and I wanted something I could carry with me. But I honestly think the main reason I got a ukulele instead of a guitar was because I didn't have a lot of money and ukuleles were really cheap. Um, so I literally saved up change and saved up $50 in change and got my first ukulele. But soon after I got it, I saw a video of a man named Jake Shimabukuro playing "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" on the ukulele. It's a very famous video now that a lot of other ukulele players will instantly recognize and know exactly the video I'm talking about. And then just by chance, about a week after seeing the video for the first time, he was doing a free show 2 towns over from me, just in the town hall. And I went and I saw him, and it was incredible. I got to meet him after and talk to him for a little bit, and it was really just really influential. And it made me think there's more to this instrument than just people strumming chords and singing like pretty little things. And it's kind of just been a process of like every year I'll be like, oh, maybe I should switch over to guitar and stuff. Because I mean, I'm also in like a band and stuff, and it's like, okay, does ukulele really go with this? Whatever. And every year it's like, well, I'm already really good at this, and I just kind of keep doubling down on the ukulele and going back to it. But I really do love the instrument, and I think there's something powerful for me creatively about the challenge of using this instrument that has very limited range and trying to do complex things with it.
True. So would you say back in school when you started playing, this was actually the starting point of your musical career as well?
I I would say so, because I started writing right when I started playing. There was no difference in time between when I started learning and when I started writing. The first thing I did was start writing my own songs. Um, as a performer musician, I would say it really started with musical theater and doing choir in school. But as a songwriter, as a musician, yeah, when I got my first ukulele was really when I started rocking and rolling.
With what you can do with the ukulele today and back then when you started, was it hard for you to find a teacher or were you a self-taught musician?
I was self-taught for the most part. There's a lot of good online resources, and I did something I would attribute a lot early on to is I took a music improvisation class at my high school, um, and I was the only person with ukulele there, so it was really I was translating what the teacher was teaching about other instruments to my instrument and kind of going home and looking up, okay, this is the scale he was talking about, this is where those notes are on the ukulele. And that definitely really helped me grow as a musician and kind of expand out of the basic stuff. But for the most part, I am self-taught. um,
Do you play other instruments as well? You mentioned the guitar before.
I play a little bit of guitar, and I have a, dulcimer that I play, and I'm actually releasing some songs with that, which I'm excited about. I play a little bit of mandolin. I play the didgeridoo.
You're not
Um,
picking really the regular
no,
instruments, so
no, I don't play any instruments that make sense to learn how to play. But yeah, also I sing. I recently started going back to school studying jazz voice. So yeah, I think, I don't know, in between singing and ukulele, they're really my main instruments. But also, I mean, I play concert ukulele with my band and my solo singing stuff mostly, but my instrumental stuff like Warriors Lullaby, like what you heard, that's on a baritone ukulele, which really are two completely different instruments.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like the typical ukulele sound you just know from everywhere.
Right,
But it
right.
sounds rather. You told me that you played that on a ukulele, and I was listening to it and thought, oh, that's a guitar. That's not a
Yeah,
ukulele.
right, right,
So
right.
this
It's
piqued my interest, and I thought, wait, it's what?
no, I've had three different articles about my last release, and they're all like classical guitar player Ed Hobson. And I was like, well, no, not exactly. But yeah, so it's a baritone ukulele is basically the bottom four strings of a guitar in a much smaller size. So it kind of is in between a guitar and a ukulele, but I think it's played a lot more like a ukulele than like a classical guitar would be played.
So you just mentioned you're playing in a band as well. That would be the Fly Casuals, I guess.
Yep, the
Uh,
Fly Casuals, you got it.
so when did this project start?
It started in its infancy um, about a little over 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago, under a different title with some of the same guys. Me and the bass player and the original drummer and the keyboard player and the guitar player originally, when we had a guitar player, we met at Valencia, which is a community college in Orlando, Florida. And I kind of just threw some people together to do some of my music on just a little gig that I was doing, and we really enjoyed playing together. So we started recording together in the school's studio, um, and eventually we kind of built into this really cool project that we have today.
So how did you gather those guys? Just put up a sign that says, "Hey, I play the ukulele. Want to play
Well, no,
along?"
so basically, really, now that I'm thinking about it, I was offered some free recording time by one of the students that is there's a really good recording program at Valencia, and they have this big studio, and the students pick musicians to record for their school projects. And so someone asked me, and I thought, okay, well, I have free studio time, so I want to get some really good musicians. And I basically there's a hallway with practice rooms, and I kind of more or less just walked up and down that hallway and listened to try and hear someone that sounded like they were playing good, and then said, "Hey, you, what are you doing tonight? You want to come record some music?" That, and then I also my girlfriend at the time, she had a band, and I kind of stole half of her band. I was like, "Hey, those guys are really good." And and then our keyboard player was in like a kind of like a live sound. He just came in. He actually went to UCF, different school in Orlando. But he came in for that one class, and I met him there, and I'm really grateful because he's an amazing musician.
So would you say, uh, is this band project a process of creating stuff, or is it just a final band you play live gigs and stuff like this?
It's definitely a mixture of both. I would say the core of the songs, like the main bulk of the songs I write and bring to it, but all of the members of my band add something really unique to it. So it is definitely a creative endeavor, and then also something that we play gigs with. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun in the studio, recording some really amazing stuff, and we have an EP that's going to be coming out within the next couple months that I'm really excited about. It's very different. You have not heard ukulele played like this before, for sure. It's
That's
very
what I
different.
thought before the interview even started.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? To what percentage are you doing your own projects and the band projects, or isn't there really a cut in between them?
There's definitely a big cut in between them because it's very different genres and it's just two totally different processes. My solo instrumental stuff is pretty much entirely online. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, on social media. I don't really perform live with it. In the future, I think I probably will do some like instrumental acoustic live stuff, but at the moment, I don't really have the means to amplify it in a way that would sound good in a live setting. Um, and then the band, we're all, for the most part, I think me to the least degree, jazz musicians. So it's the band. It's not a jazz band, but it's very live improvisation oriented. So it's something that's, I would say the live part comes first and then the recording part comes second. So it's kind of, I would say right now I'm more focused on doing my solo stuff, but it's really just a matter of timing with my bandmates being spread out in different parts of the state and they're just finishing up school right now. So I think moving into the summer, we're going to get back into it because once we put out this new material, I'm really excited to get out and play it live.
The setting sounds a bit like those sessions that usually start very innocent. One is playing along the other, and all of a sudden, 2 hours are gone, and you're thinking, "Wow, this sounds really great. Why didn't
Yeah,
anybody record it?"
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, so you just mentioned a new project in the making with the band, if I heard you correctly. So what's this about, and when will this happen?
So basically, I think we're just calling it the 3 in G EP because we were going through the three songs that we recorded and the producer kept being like, okay, what key is this one? And what key is this one? And we're like, oh wait, I wrote all of these in G. We're like, okay, these songs are all in G. But I think it's three songs and there's one song that's kind of like a folk rock, not even, it's like kind of a combination of folk and jazz, and it's a song about um me being stuck in the Florida heat and missing the woods in Connecticut that I grew up in. And then the next song is just a funky pop song, straight, really fun, really dancey, groovy song called For the Night. And then the last song is like a very heavy rock rap kind of thing with these huge solo sections, huge synth solo, huge saxophone solo. Um, that is very dark in material. I am in recovery from addiction, and this is a song that I wrote over the course of, I don't know, like 8 years of being in addiction. At different points I wrote these different verses, so it's very dark, very heavy, but musically it's very exciting, very high energy. So I think this project is really going to show our full range because we have this really soft, kind of sweet folk song into this fun, dancey pop song into this really heavy, you know, emotionally dark song. And I think it shows, what we're capable of as a band. Just shows a little bit of each thing.
So, guys, if you remember, I called him the master of the quiet intensity. Forget about that. He's the master of intensity, but not quiet. So you guys just take all the genres you meet and you just blend them into a whole new genre, I guess.
that's that's kind of the idea. I kind of try not to think about genre until afterwards, and that's kind of where it gets difficult marketing wise because like my solo stuff, super easy to market. I know what it is. It's relaxing, it's meditation music, it's sleep music.
you can
I
put a
know where
tag on
that
it. Yeah.
belongs. Yeah, exactly. I know exactly where that belongs. And then it comes to our band's music. Like our song that we have out, Orpheus, is this like dark, kind of synthy, kind of bluesy jazz song about addiction, but it's also about Greek mythology, and it's kind of like it's kind of sung, it's kind of rapped. There's a big ukulele solo, there's a big synth solo at the end. And I show it to people and I'm like, okay, like what band does this sound like? How should I market this to playlists? And they're like, we love it, but I have no idea what this sounds like. And I'm trying to put a genre on it. I think people who don't listen to a lot of jazz hear it and they're like, oh, that's jazz. And then some people are like, oh, that's funk. And I'm like, it's something.
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah, it's us. Exactly.
It's a unique blend. So I
Yeah.
always love these fields to fill in when they say, how does your track sound like?
Right.
And you're like, oh, because there are only so much genres everybody knows.
Right.
So
Right. Exactly. And it's
categorized.
which is tough, which is something that's important to me not to fall into. Is I think a lot of the music marketing advice that you find online is like, find your genre that you fit in and stick to that and make sure you build a brand at this genre and you can fit on these playlists and all of that. And I really want to think of it more as the other way around, is like, don't want to be influenced by an audience while I'm creating. I want to find that audience after I'm done creating and make this and then figure out what it is after I make it, not before.
And if you think about it, people out there are getting bombarded with new tracks every day, and they hear the top 3 genres every day, hundreds of songs.
Right.
People are searching for new genres or genre blends, and if they hear something that sounds exactly like the track of yesterday, they think, oh well, and this track is gone. But if you hear something that sticks to your head because you think, oh, that's unique. So this is where it gets interesting, and that's the whole creational process of real musicians.
Mm-hmm.
So, when will you release the new tracks or the new? Is it an album or a single? EP?
It's an EP. It's 3 songs. So
okay.
I don't have a set date for that. My solo album is coming out next month on the 3rd, on Friday, June 3rd. So I'm probably going to wait another month after that to put out the band stuff. Just because I do most of the social media and online marketing and stuff, and it's just way too much to do 2 different releases at the same time. So probably in around 2 months that's going to come out, but I don't have a set date yet, and I will soon. It sounds amazing. I wish that the way marketing and everything works, it didn't exist, so I could just put it out. I want to just put it out right now, but I know to do it justice, I need to give some time to be able to, build hype and get people to actually listen to it when I do put it out.
You don't want to throw it out there and oversaturate the market and say, here's all my stuff, listen to it. And
exactly.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, I really try to put out more content than advertising on Instagram and TikTok and everything that I use, because I don't want my audience to think I'm just trying to use them to get streams or whatever. I want to provide value and content. And so it's like, if I'm putting out stuff, just throwing stuff at them, I feel like it's going to get annoying if I'm just like, oh, here, listen to this track. No, now listen to this track. Pre-save this, do that. I want to give more than I ask out of them. But at the same time, yeah. No, I'm sorry, you continue.
The most important part is just that there is actually a movement happening. There's no silence of a year or something, but you feed the market with new tracks.
Right.
All right. Sounds very intriguing, and I'm eager to hear more about you. So Ed, thank you very much for meeting me tonight. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Guys, if you want to know more about Ed Hobson and his project, make sure to click on the links in the description. That's it for today. All I have to say is be safe. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.